All right, what's going on, guys? We're going to try a new little format here after getting some feedback from peoples over the last little whiles. Let's jump right into it. Again, this is No Noise, and I am your host, Z-Rex. We are not going to be coming at you live on this one. This is going to be a shorter based video just for a quicker technical analysis in case you don't want to listen to me ramble for 30 minutes to an hour or so. Let's see. Let me just kind of adjust a couple things here. Don't think that y'all can see that, but I want to make sure, get it off of the screen. There we go. All right. So I haven't used this software in a while, so we are going to possibly have a little bit of technical difficulties, but that's all right. It's part of the learning process. All right, I've been away for a little bit. Sorry about that. I've been real busy with the beginning of the year and in the business and other stuff. I'm trying to plug these in. I think having little shorter videos will be better. And then I have a plan to do live streams, dedicated times, maybe a couple times a week is what I'm looking at. It's kind of what I think I can fit in my schedule. But these videos, I'm going to try to keep them under 10 minutes and really just hit the core points of the majors in the crypto space. All right, without further ado, let's get it on. So, as y'all know, the last 2.5 weeks have been rather boring on Mama Bear for Bitcoin, kind of just chilling. If we want to look here on some of the big movers of the last couple weeks, though, we got Holla chain killing it, doubling. Tron has been on a nice tear. Let's go look at Tron real quick. Oops. Let's see here. Yeah, look at this tear. Tron since pretty much December 20th hasn't really looked back. Going up on a pretty nice trend line right there. Good projection, just bouncing right off of it. Although you could argue before this was drawn, you might have had it drawn there. So it is kind of looking a little bit weaker. And I think that's fair to actually say because if you look down here on the internals, you do have, let me add my horizontal on this real quick. As you could see down here, you are putting in some divergences on both of the oscillators here, the DMI and the RSI. So probably you're going to find some resistance at this point. If I had to guess, I definitely will not be touching the Tron. All right, let's just jump into, as you can see too, it's been dead flat. Market cap's just been at 120 for a long time. You can see that here on this graph pretty much since this attempted breakout of over 4K, which is where this was. And since then, January 20th, we're kind of just going flat. It's a little boring. Dominance staying the same. Nothing too exciting. So I didn't miss much. Not making videos in the last little bit, but let's see here. Let's go ahead and go to Mama Bear. All right. So you can see this trend line from the sell-off, start off, did break in mid-December, coming up into Christmas right around here. So that was like the speed line there. We can go ahead and remove that. Coincided nicely with the triple exponential, these blue dots here, which is a nice one to give print supports and resistances. Kind of nothing's really predictive for price, but it is a nice and kind of dynamic and can give you an idea of where a floor is being put in. As you can see, above here it was like nothing, and then it flipped below way down here, kind of printing this support at a 3250 range. And this is on a daily chart here. As you can see too, we got this trend line still intact on the top, providing pretty good resistance. You do have, let me go to big screen here. You do have some rejections on it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 to 7 times, I guess, depending how you want to count it. And kind of just hovering around this 21 daily exponential. The biggest problem that I see in this chart is for bulls is that all this consolidation looked really good, and it failed to get over this trend line, and most importantly, over the 55 orange exponential moving average, and then engulfed all of this previous, couple weeks of price action with one day. That's not the best. That's not the healthiest price action that you want to see. And since that happened on the 10th, and we've been in this, extremely tight range. What is it? Just like a few percent. Yeah, pretty much like 3-4%. The last 2.5 weeks. And we do have to take note that all of this price action has been consolidating under the yellow 21 exponential. So not too sexy of price action. Super neutral on both oscillators, though. So, you can't really get too excited as it is staying above, this kind of little local low over here at around, let's just call it 3,200, and also printing with this triple exponential dotted line. So overall, it's extremely neutral, but I have to lean a little bit bearish here. I do have a short in at the moment, just to hedge some of my positions, and I will take that off if we break over this price action right around here at about 37.50, and that will need to be on a daily candle for me. If we zoom in a little bit on the 4-hour, you can see kind of this price action a little bit better. You also can see some of this crazy tail action on these candles that we've witnessed over the last week or so. You got some big moves down that keep getting bought up. This one alone is 3%. And then this one that we just had earlier today is about 2%. So notice how they're coming right back up to the triple exponential here. That his price has been squeezing in between these shorter term moving averages, all of the 55, 21, and this exponential here. So you can see we are just extremely neutral. The oscillators now have gotten back into, at least specifically the DMI has gotten back into the bearish control zone, the power zone here. And at the same time, it is shoving the bulls back into the weak zone. Now, to get this back neutral, though, all that needs to happen is price to stay up here for the rest of the day, or another little spike up above here. And again, for the bulls, this is not really what you want to see. We have lower highs. Haven't got the lower low yet. We did back here, but we've got lower highs, lower high, and now we got this lower high, and an attempt to get over the intermediate term, 144 exponential, which is this purple line, didn't happen. So I'm a little bit bearish here just because we're getting rejections in the shorter time frames, which we even can see on the daily here, just writing down the 21 exponential. I will say, though, it does look like a very large move is getting charged up. I don't really keep up with the news anymore. I did that in the beginning, but I don't really care about the news. Price will tell you that, and a lot of times it'll be wrong anyway, right? So, and by wrong, I mean the anticipated reaction from whatever news it is will be sold off or bought. There's no way to know how the market's going to react. So it's better just to keep the noise less, hence the name of the show, right? So, which was a contradiction when I first started. Anyway, trying to keep the video shorter. I can't see the time I'm using Zoom right now, but I don't see the time on here, but that's okay. So look at all these exponentials, even the triple exponential, the blue dots. We are very, very compressed here. We are in a $40 range. That is pretty odd. You don't see this stay down here for that long, that's for sure. Let's see here. And like I said, getting bears back into the power zone. So the last time that did happen was right over here on these sell-offs. And granted, when that did happen, it was quickly lived and consolidated and just went sideways some more. And before that, you can see back here, this big engulfing candle, there was follow through with that one when the bears got into the control zone. really what I think the more important thing to watch is see how down here the DMI positive went into the weak zone for the bulls. If we get something similar to that and it can be sustained underneath there, like it was here, even in this consolidation, you can see it was staying underneath and staying in the weak zone. If we can get something like that here for the next couple of days, that would be interesting. But my gut tells me that there's going to be a move that's big, something like this or this. It could be bullish or bearish. I'm just leaning a little bit bearish just because of the higher time frames. And just real quick, you can look at those. Look at the 3-day getting rejected. Not that close to the 21, but that's also why, this could pop up to these areas relatively easily and still be bearish. So you do have to be a little bit cautious here. If we go to the weekly, higher time frames, the bears are still in the control zone and have been since the sell-off started. So that's also something that I'm a little bit concerned about for the bull camp. And look at all these rejections on the weekly 200 exponential. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're even with dojis on a couple of them, showing kind of some indecision. And so, yeah, again, this could have some juice to pop up to 38, 39 or so and still be bearish. So do be aware of that. I'm not saying this is going to just fall out of bed here, but you do have a bigger issue with this weekly closing. Looks like we're going to have the 21 cross below the 144. And, that hasn't happened since this consolidation all the way back in 2015. And to be fair, that was the bottom. So, and I'm kind of, looking for something like this of just consolidation for a big chunk of the first quarter or so this year. And if we can get some of these like nice tails, these big tails on these candles, and, these tails are not these, I mean, that's 40% off the lows right there. That's something I would really like to see for some capitulation and then hold it throughout, half this year. So that would be a really awesome price action for bulls. I do think 2019 at some point, probably later in the year, is going to do some ass kicking for sure. I mean, we do have Brexit coming up. That could provide some type of catalyst, and that will be at the end of March, I believe. So, that could be some kind of catalyst of something. People get scared, currency crisis stuff. I don't know. The media is really hyping that up to be bad, but, we'll kind of see. Price will tell us what's up. If we go to the 1 hour, I mean, look at this candle right here. That's what's been interesting to me is there's been a lot of buying right here on hourly basis. Look at these candles and the volume on them. So the problem is, though, that the bears are very much in control on the shorter time frames as well. Only on the middle time frames, like the 4 hour and maybe the 850. I think the 850 is bearish too. Yeah, the 850 is still bearish too. Let's see, just riding down all these. I think it's pretty likely that we at least test this support, though, here at 3150, 3200 before making another run higher. But, that's my opinion. Right now, the chart is saying to kind of stay a little bit in bearish mode for now, especially with a confirmed break on a 4 hour. You notice we can't get one below the dots here. We get a confirmed break below 3520. Let's just call it 3500. I've had some alerts on my other chart, not on this one. I've had some alerts that have been triggering, and they're at like 3510 and like in this high top of the range, 3580, and they're getting hit all the time. This is really good range trading, or better yet, for option trading. If you've been selling premium, the decay on those has probably been fabulous for you. So that's nice. That's a little bit more advanced, though. Definitely look into options if you don't know any about them. There's a lot of free stuff to learn about them. My favorite is probably a company called Tasty Trade. Check them out. They do lots of comprehensive studies, and they're also entertaining too. So, but anyway, that's kind of the thing with Bitcoin there. And the one thing that is odd, I will say, let's go to Litecoin. Oh my gosh, if I could type here. Let's see, Litecoin dollar. So as you can see, Litecoin is actually kind of bullish here. I mean, the 4 hours are staying above the 55. and we're in the neutral zone on both of the oscillators. So it's showing a little bit of relative strength, which is kind of funny because the last time Litecoin actually did that back over here in early December. It led this rally. How we've always talked about, I couldn't even get bullish until Bitcoin crossed over the 55 on a 4 hour with at least, a few candles. This made a nice bull flag here on the 4 hour on Litecoin, and it started running before everything else did. So it was kind of first out the gate. This isn't looking as sexy as it, but it's odd is like we're in bearish control zone on the bulls, but price is above the 55. That does not happen very often at all. So that's why I also think that there's a very large move on the horizon, and it'll likely happen. If I had to guess, it'll probably happen this week. Equities have a lot of stuff going on with them, big earnings, all the tech companies. So yeah, I think that there's going to be something like that. And as you can see here, Ethereum, just real quick, and we'll wrap up, has been on the slide, looking pretty rough since back over here on this big candle. Again, these gnarly, massive tails on Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically. They're getting bought up for now, guys, but don't get caught up as thinking that that's just like really good support. If you watch a lot of crypto and you see these tails, you will notice that they do get tested a lot of times. So, and especially to the downside when we're in a bear market. And you can see the speed line we drew here, and we talked about in the last video. Once it broke, it was all off, and of course, it was right before the fork happened, or that was supposed to happen. It got postponed. I wonder if that'll reignite some bullish action, but we'll have to just wait and see. I think they postponed it to February sometime. Anyway, here you go, 618. We are in the really good support zones for now. This could just be a healthy pullback, but it better start doing it real quick. Like I said, this week, this is the turning point, but I just can't get real bullish on any of the majors. Litecoin sort of, but I'm not going to put too much weight on that, especially when you have Ethereum and Bitcoin clearly in the bearish mode for sure. So with that said, we'll just wrap up real quick with these final thoughts. I mean, holding 3,500 on this 4 hour has been good for buying these dips real quick, but do be careful because the move that I think is charging up here, look at that too, 618 right there, 3,500. So it's trying, but it is making lower highs in the process, so it's not looking too great. Again, I think coming down here to test 32-ish area is likely. But on the daily, we are neutral, so we can't get too excited. Lots of indecision type candles printing here, engulfing down, engulfing it up, engulfing it down, but still ultimately staying below the 21 exponential moving average on a daily. So that's very notable. All right, so kind of keep that in tight, and we'll do these shorter videos from here on out. And leave any feedback or message me on the TG or Telegram that is, or on the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. This has been NoNoiz with your host, Z-Rex, and we are signing off. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Peace.